This is going to be our day 1 video for Unit 2. Alright, from this class, Morton here for this whole unit is going to be all about graphing. So we can't start graphing until we talk about what a graph actually is, what the coordinate plane looks like. So this graph right here, this is what the coordinate plane is. It's this grid we always graph on. It's called the coordinate plane. So there's two lines that go through the coordinate plane. Alright, the one that goes up and down, that's called the y-axis, or the vertical axis. The one that goes left and right, that's called the x-axis, or the horizontal axis. So the idea behind using the coordinate plane is that we can describe any point in that plane using a location based off the x-axis and the y-axis. So how far we go along that x-axis, left and right, how far we go along that y-axis, up and down. As a point of reference, as a starting point, we use this point right here in the middle, which is called the origin. So when we're describing these locations for points, or plotting points, we write them as what's called ordered pairs. Alright, so ordered pairs are what you've seen points before that look like this. You have an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. That's what ordered pair looks like. Alright, so those will be actual numbers or plotting points. So the first coordinate is important to note the order matters. The first coordinate in the ordered pair is the x-coordinate. Alright. The x-coordinate is what's going to move you left or right along the x-axis, starting from the origin. Alright, the second coordinate is the y-coordinate. This is a coordinate that's going to move the point up or down along the y-axis. And again, it's starting from the origin. Alright, so always our starting point is 0. So how do we distinguish between left or right or up or down? We do that with the sign, so positive and negative. Positive x-coordinate is going to move a point to the right, and negative x-coordinate is going to move a point to the left. Same idea with the y-coordinates. Positive will move it up, and negative y-coordinate will move a point down. Alright, so here's some examples of what this looks like. So we're going to start by plotting this point here, 3, 1. Alright, this is an example of an ordered pair. Remember that first coordinate, that's going to be my x-coordinate, so left or right. That second coordinate, that's going to be my y-coordinate, it's going to move me up or down. So see for this first one, 3, 1, start with a 3, that's a positive number, so that means I'm going to move 3 to the right. And my second coordinate is a 1, it's a positive 1, which means I'm going to move 1 up from there. So I'm going to start at the origin, count out 1, 2, 3 to the right, and 1 up, and there's the point 3, 1. Right, same idea for negative 2, 5. Right, now our x-coordinate is negative, so we're going to move left 2, and then positive 5, so up 5. That idea is still the same here when both coordinates are negative. Start with that first negative 3 is going to move us left 3. Second negative 3 moves us down 3. And last one we have 1, negative 4. So that means 1 to the right. X-coordinate positive 1, so positive means 1 to the right. Second coordinate, y-coordinate negative 4, so down 4. The last two are a little bit tricky. Alright, points that have zeros in them are going to be on an axis. Alright, so 0, 3, x-coordinate 0 means I don't move left or right at all, I only move the y-coordinate up 3. And this other one means the opposite. 3, 0 means my x-coordinate 3, I move 3 to the right. Y-coordinate 0 means I don't move up and down at all. Alright, so anytime we see a 0, that means that point is going to be on an axis. So see from the picture, the x and y axes divide the coordinate plane into 4 different sections, and those sections are called quadrants. So if we look up here, we can label the quadrants. Starting in this top right, it's quadrant 1, then quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So depending on how the coordinates of a point look, it will fall in a different quadrant. So if we look at the first quadrant, all those points have positive x coordinates and positive y coordinates. They're all moving to the right and up from the origin. Move over and look at the second quadrant. Now we're moving to the left, which means our x coordinate is negative. We're still moving up, so our y coordinate is still going to be positive. So these are points that follow the form negative xy. Right, we're moving left and up. Third quadrant, now we're moving left and down, which means we're negative in both directions. Alright, left is negative for the x direction, and down is negative for the y direction. So these points look like negative x, negative y. Alright, then last one, that fourth quadrant, now we're moving right and down, which means our x coordinate is positive because we're moving right. Y coordinate is negative because we're moving down. So these are points that look like x, negative y. Or think of them looking at the origin, they would be to the right and down from the origin. So it's a lot of stuff you've seen already here. It's important to keep track of things. Biggest mistake is switching the x and y coordinates, so make sure we're following the order of the ordered pairs, and make sure we're paying attention to those little details like positive and negative signs. So just for some practice, on the back of this sheet there's a whole bunch of points you can practice, plotting the points, and also on the second section, practice with the quadrants, so saying which quadrant each of those ordered pairs is in. As we move through this unit, we're going to get away from just doing points and actually start graphing lines and graphing from tables as well.